Good evening to one and all. A warm welcome to 99th International Workshop on Great Life Lessons from a British Philosopher, Mary Wollstonecraft, under Golden Jubilee of NEHU, May 2022 to May 2023. International Workshop Series, a series of programs, the highest number and best of ability every Saturday 5 to 7 p.m. Joint Look Up, Aim High, Nation First, Self Next. Jointly organized by Internal Quality Assurance IQAC, Northeastern Hill University NEHU, Shillong Meghalaya, and Indian Society for Training and Development ISTD, Shillong Chapter, Shillong Meghalaya, in collaboration with the Department of Philosophy and IQAC, MORAN College, affiliated to Dibrugarh University, Department of Philosophy, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. A warm welcome to today's keynote speaker, Guru, collaborator, mentor, keynote speaker, Professor P. Chennai Sir, Department of Philosophy, Sri Venkateswara University, Professor P. S. Sukla Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, NEHU Shillong, Professor S. Dixit Sir, former Registrar, former Director, IQAC NEHU, Professor Rajareddy Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Professor Mithalika Ma'am, Principal, Moran College, Dr. Srutosni Gogoi Madam, Workshop Coordinator, Head Department of Philosophy and IQAC NSS Coordinator, Professor B.S. Mipun Sir, Chairman, ISTD Shillong Chapter. A warm welcome to senior teachers, policymakers, administrators, research scholars, students, and all the participants. Great life lessons from a British philosopher, Mary Wollstonecraft. Really, after going through her writings and her contribution, I surprised Professor Chennai Sir motivated me to identify new philosophers, young philosopher, world philosopher around the globe. So she born on 27th April 1759 and passed away on 10th September 1797 at the age of only 38. But she contributed a lot. She was a writer and freedom for equality of men and women. Actually, she fought more for equality of women rights through education and social equality, educational equality, and number of things. And this is philosopher also. Professor Chennai sir going to uncover the covered things and going to share unshared things along with all the participants. Myself also, I'm eagerly waiting to listen from Professor Chennai sir. If you read by yourself based on your previous knowledge and past experience, your understanding, my understanding may be different, but Professor Chennai sir, philosophical perspective because of yogic knowledge. So we can see, just like bacteria, it is not possible to see through human eyes, but if you use microscope, you can see in the same way. We need intuition, you need philosophical aspects to see the unseen things. With this, a warm welcome to one and all. As usual, we start our program with Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. शीतला सस्यश्यामला मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you. I am requesting Professor Chennai sir to deliver keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Respectable with the collaborator and organizer for an international workshop and all the participants of the program. Today I am going to share a wonderful woman British philosopher born in 27th April 1759 and died September 1797. Her name is Wollstonecraft. So she's a very revolutionary philosopher. She said about equality of the men and women. She said, I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves. So she has a equality rights. So she is telling, so here our feminism or human women rights or a domination, it is not relating with the domination on the men. So she has an idea, this human life is a vehicle. Here we have a two wheels, woman and man. So without two wheels, this vehicle won't go. Without men and women, there is no progeny, there is no children, there is no humanity, there is no future progress. That's why the woman is dominating man, the man is dominating, it is not good. We need great understanding about oneself. Woman has to understand herself. The man has to understand himself. So then only we can go very nicely. So dominating others is not good in the nature. So here I am wishing women. So if you dominate on men, you may get more energy, more strength. That is not good. So we need equality in the relationship of men and women. And then only we will live very comfortable manner in the world. She said, I earnestly wish to point out what to do for men and women. We need human dignity, happiness. So women and men has to, so men and women have to go very deeply to see the dignity of the human life, the highest happiness in the human affairs. So here, Wollstonecraft, British philosopher, born in 16th century, she is telling, the mind will ever be unstable, that has only prejudices to rest on, and the current will run with a destructive fury when there are no barriers to break its forces. So she is telling, human mind is a very flexible, it is a very dangerous topic, it has a flexibility, it is a ferocious mood, it is a thunder storm, it has a many things. So you have to watch your mind, you have to watch your thoughts. In the mind you have feelings, your thoughts. So your actions have great base in the human being thoughts. That's why you have to control, you have to watch your mind. You have to go with a balanced manner, relating with the thoughts. Then only your life will be very comfortable. So here, dominating women on men or men on women, that is not the important aspect. Here we have to understand our human nature. In the human nature, we have a great aspect called human being mind. So you have to understand your mind, thoughts. So watch very carefully every thought. Then only your life will be very beautiful and pleasant. The more equality there is a established among men and women, men, the more virtue and happiness will regain in the society. So here she is, Wollstonecraft is telling equality of the men and women, treating equally. So these are equal vehicles in the human affairs. If there is a equality in the men and women, if there is a respect in the human affairs relating with the men and women, then you will find the flowering of virtue and happiness. So what do you mean by virtue? Here, this virtue is a good character, good behavior, good way of living, and happiness. What do you mean by happiness? So if you are living in the world without expectation, with the absence of striving or a craving for happiness, when you are living with the present, then only you will get more happiness. If you want to that type of mind, you need more attention, more clarity relating with the rights of the human beings. Only that education derives empathically to be termed cultivation of mind, which teaches young people how to begin to do. She is telling about the education. So what do you mean by education according to Wollstonecraft? So here education is understanding the mind, understanding the sensations, the experiences, the memories, the knowledge, the thoughts, the emotions, the behaviors, the contents of consciousness, everything. Then you have to understand your inner mind. Then you have to understand your inner mind, how to think, how to express, how to express. So here, while you are thinking, in the thinking process, you will find positive thoughts and negative thoughts. The positive thoughts are the basis for positive feelings and positive actions. The negative thoughts are basis for negative feelings and negative actions. All crises, all problems, all worries are nothing but the rising of negative thoughts, negative feelings, and negative actions. That's why you have to watch very carefully. So education is understanding of mind. So total thoughts. So you have to, so one way, complete watchfulness of human affairs is nothing but education. So simplicity and sincerity generally go hand in hand, as both proceed from a love of truth. So where there is a truth, there is a simplicity. Where there is a truth, there is a sincerity. So where there is a simplicity, where there is a sincerity, there we find. So what do you mean by simplicity? Simplicity means not having any possessions psychologically, always keeping all images, all thoughts, all things in a separate manner, keeping all your affairs with a space, maintaining pure mirror, always having a innocence in our mind. So moving with a simplicity. So sincerity. So here honesty. Here sincerity means you have to understand your capabilities exactly what they are. If you estimate with a higher level, that may be a problem. If you estimate your energies with a lower manner, that may be a problem. So don't have an inferior outlook about your life and don't have a superior outlook. Have a actuality, understand your life, move with a positive manner, live with the authenticity. So here Wollstonecraft is telling No man chooses evil because it is a evil. Be only mistakes for happiness, the good be seeks. So um, here in the world we have a good and evil. So the good will create positive things in the world. The evil creates negative things in the world. So if you choose evil things, automatically you will experience the consequences of evil. That's why don't do evil things. Don't have idea to do something with a bad manner, negative manner, with a troublesome manner. Have a good feeling. So she's telling about friendship is a serious affection. Friendship is a serious affection. So here, the highest state of love or the highest state of affinity, highest state of helping is nothing but friendship. So here she's telling, Wollstonecraft is telling, so how to live? She's telling the beginning is always today. So yesterday is a dead. It is a past. Tomorrow it is tomorrow it is a future. It is a uncertain. So if you are concentrating at present, today, on tomorrow or yesterday, you are not using the present time properly. That's why don't involve more on future and past. Whenever you need the assistance of past, then only you take. Whenever you need a plan for future, then you have to take. If you take more in the past and the future, then there is a danger for your life. If you want to live very happily, concentrate more on the present. If you concentrate more on the past and the future, then you will get depression and anxiety. So if you want to live very happily, live today, live at present. That is the most important. When we feel deeply, we reason profoundly. So here, if you have a deep concern about any human affair or any particular thing or anything in the life, you may reason, the deductive reason or inductive reason. You go very deeply. If you have a deep passion, you go very deeply about many things. That is the most important thing in the life. So here, it is a justice, not a charity. That is wanting in the world. So we are not interesting to go in the world to expect help from others. We are not expecting charity from others in the world. According to Wollstonecraft, we need justice. We need more energy, more rights, more opportunities to get more energy, more self-sufficiency, more equality. That is the most important thing. So if you depend on other people, you will not get anything. If you are very ignorant, you may depend on other person. If you are a self-sufficient person, if you are an intelligent person, you won't depend on anybody. You will live very simple manner, authentic manner, energetic manner. So if you live with a dignity, with authentic manner, with so much of energy, then you may find more beauty and affection in the world. That's why she here, Wollstonecraft is telling, modesty is the graceful thing, calm virtue of morality. So she is telling, don't be extreme. So here, in this connection, we have to remember the great saying of Albert Einstein. He is telling, life is just like riding a bicycle. If you want to ride a bicycle, you have to maintain balance. If you want to maintain a balance, the bicycle has to move. So in the movements of human affairs, we have to go with a balanced manner. If you go with the right side or a left side extreme manner, you won't ride a cycle. Or in the human affairs, if you are too much attached and too much detached, then there is a problem. So according to Wollstonecraft also, live with a balanced manner in the world. So don't criticize more on men. Don't criticize more on women. So these are very important people. These are very important people for balanced way of driving. Respect both. Give more equality for men and women. Give more dignity and respect for all men and women in the world. Then only we will live. So here, if any man is a dominating woman and the woman is a dominating man, that is a immaturity. That is not a wise thing. Understanding about human relations are a most important thing in the human affairs. So she is telling virtue can only flourish among equals. So here, if you are treating women and men, you are treating women equal or women treating men equal, then you will find good characteristics, good behaviors in the society. So she is telling, I love men as my fellow. So here, Wollstonecraft is the most holy bond of society is a friendship. So here, men and women should have a harmonious friendship. Then only you will live very comfortable manner, very joyful manner. If you miss friendship, then you don't find any fragrance for your life. So here, fragrance is the most important thing in the human affairs. Friendship is a very lively thing in the human interactions. So here, love from its very nature must be transitory. So here, so if you concentrate more on love, if you are not maintaining balance, you may find more changes, more problems in the love affairs of the human beings. If you maintain proper balance, then you can maintain love affairs very positively. Make woman a rational creature. So she's telling. So here in the human affairs, man has a more reasoning capacity. Here woman has a more emotional capacity. So she's telling woman has to develop the rational outlook, the reasoning outlook, the questioning outlook, the investigating outlook. Then that may be a good thing for her to develop her efficiencies with excellent manner. So Wollstonecraft is telling errors are often often useful. It is sometimes errors too are useful for the remedy of others. So she is telling errors are often useful for avoiding future errors. That's why if you done any error, learn something from the error. If you are not learning anything from the error or a mistake, you won't get any learning experience. If you won't get any learning experience, you may commit the same error in the future also. That's why here Wollstonecraft is telling, don't commit any errors again and again. If you commit error one time, learn something from the error, avoid the same error in the future, and go good activities. Use this error to avoid errors in the future. Every political good carried to be extreme must be productive of evil. So here, so those who are anchoring power, those who are dominating, so many times they use evil as the source for getting power. That's why a power getting on the basis of evil that won't do good to humanity. All the sacred rights of humanity are violated by insisting on blind obedience. So she is telling in the world, in the relating with men and women, in the name of blind obedience, people are suppressing men rights and the women rights. That's why men have a sacred rights and women have sacred rights. Both are losing sacred rights in the human affairs in the name of blind obedience. That's why don't be obedient. Be intelligent, be answerable, be responsible, be alert. Do everything with a careful manner. Then your life will be very beautiful. So Wollstonecraft is telling solitude and reflection is necessary to live very balanced manner, relating with the passions. So you have to live with a silent manner. If you are living with a silent manner, that means you are free from a dependence, you are free from attachment, if you are free from addiction, possessiveness, then your life will be very beautiful. So here, solitude and reflection is necessary to balance passions in the human affairs. So here, in the philosophy of Wollstonecraft, we find men and women are equals. They have to respect each other for good life. So human dignity and happiness are most important. Human beings have a great mind. It is a disturbed one. It is a source for all worries in the human lives, human beings' lives, in the human affairs. That's why man has to understand his own mind. Woman has to understand her own mind. Mind understanding, thoughts understanding are the most important thing. If you misunderstanding your mind, then you may face so many problems. That's why here you have to develop, you have to learn the right education, a education which creates to understand your mind, your thoughts, and a education which gives alertness to you how to think with an intelligent manner, how to use your thoughts with a careful manner. If you use your mind proper sense, if you use your thoughts with a careful manner, that means you are a person of education. Simplicity, seniority, sincerity, these are most important. Friendliness, love are very essential. Live with a have respect for human dignity. So here we are a human being. So love should be there. So love may be a very temporary flux. Sometimes we may find many fluctuations when we find imbalance in the relations. That's why develop a friendship. Friendship is a fragrance in a human affairs. If you develop a friendship relating with men and women, then your life will be very beautiful. I concluded this speech, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful keynote address. Now I'm requesting noble participants to interact with Professor Chennai, sir. Most welcome to Pavan, sir. Pavan, sir. Pavan Kumar, sir. Over to you. Emma, madam. Deeplata Gupta, madam ji. Sir, actually, after going through the writings of Mary, so what was the status of men and women rights during that time in England, sir? Because he fought for equality of women.
Tell me once again.
So what was the status of equality of men and women during that period, sir, in England?
So, so she has great understanding the society in the England, but she's a universal person. She's a philosopher and a writer. Her consciousness is not narrow-minded, not relating with any country or any nation or anything. She is a universal human being. She observed in those times throughout the world. So the man is dominating women, the woman is dominating man. Woman is thinking that if I dominate men, it may be a superior, it may be a success. She is telling women and men are both are equals. If man is dominating woman, if man is creating sorrow to woman, that means he is creating sorrow himself. So here in the society, There is no society without men. There is no society without women. Women and men are both are responsible. They are two wheels in a vehicle in the human life. That's why so here a person who is having immaturity, a person who is having any dictatorship outlook, they are violating the sacred rights of men and women. That's why she fought for men and women. So she is not a sectarian. So if you go very deeply, she has not fought for only women. She is a maturity philosopher. So she is not a one-sided philosopher. She has no idea that we have to protect only women rights and we have to dominate men's life. So she is telling not like that. So both are important. Both are have to live comfortable. So in the society, some people who are a dictator, who are a dominating people, who are a criminals, who are a evil people, they are violating the rights of the women and the men. That's why the both men and women have to take more care to protect their life, to live very comfortable manner. This we find in the philosophy of Wollstonecraft, Amreshwar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That is true, sir.
Welcome.
But unfortunately, still in India and many places also, we have separate ministry for women, child and women empowerment. So why can't we think about the family empowerment, sir? Family development or empowerment instead of only.
See here, men empowerment and women empowerment. Thus, they are very different type of psychological thoughts. So here, there is no separate existence of women in the world. There is no separate existence of men in the world. So if in our body, if one leg is a good condition and another leg is not good condition, one eye is in a good condition and another eye is not good condition, one ear is a good condition, another ear is not good condition, what is the life of that body? So here also in the society, just like a two legs for a human being, women and men are both responsible for happiness of humanity. So if women are there in the toward the world, no, there is no children. When men are there, there is no children in the world. Both are responsible in the nature. That's why empowerment of humanity, empowerment of human life. So we have to treat women as a sacred, men as a sacred. Women and men are divine people. We have to give more respect the consciousness of men and women. If you treat with an equal manner, lovely manner, divine manner in the affairs of human beings, we may treat differently. That's why the soul is a divine, the soul is a pure. So woman has a soul, man has a soul. So wherever soul is there, that is a divine, that is a cosmic consciousness. That's why treating equally with a consciousness manner, treating with a divine manner, men and women, that is the most important happy thing in the human affairs, Samreswar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So we are giving a different type of approach, Samreswar.
Yes, sir. Deeplata Gupta madam from Lucknow, Pavan sir from Andhra Pradesh.
Namaste Sachinay sir and Amareshwari sir.
Sir.
Pavan
Namaste,
Kumar.
sir. This
Nice
is
to
this
see you
connection
after a
network
long.
is not working, sir. Last 10 days back. Then not attend that program, sir. Okay, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Okay, sir. Old stone craft content way. That, how can equalization of women and men? What reforms to follow our international UNO?
So
What reforms to follow?
even though started in the 19 after Second World War, so the League of Nations after First World War, so she is a 16th century philosopher. She sensed that. So here, giving equal rights, seeing dignity of the man, woman, we need two aspects. One is a friendship, another is a love. If you extend friendship to men and women, if you extend love, pure love to men and women on the principle of balance, automatically you may give all the things. When you have a love, you may give all the things. So you see, in the love affairs of the human beings, when they have a pure lovely feeling, they may give everything, they may consider everything, they may go everywhere, they may see beauty everywhere. After disappearing of love in their hearts, all evil things will come. All worry, all murder, killing, war, destruction, unhappiness, divorce, all the things will come. That's why Wollstonecraft is telling, purity of the mind is the most important. You have to watch your mind, you have to clean your mind. On the basis of cleaning of your mind, you may get more love and friendship. Use your love and friendship in the human affairs, you may create harmony in the society. Amaresh sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. But women equivalence, women and men equivalence, then what are the what reforms, sir? What are the reforms to follow, sir, our India? International wide, foreign countries are okay. Women and men is all are equal. That anything that doing equality. But our India, no equality. Women and men. That women reservation is here. That so many women are to come that jobs. That men are not
Don't
unemployment. Men are unemployment to facing. Then that women are not doing. That some works are not doing very well. These are things facing about our India, sir. Then what are the these are how can that equalization, sir?
so actually, not only particular India or Britain or any country. So here Wollstonecraft is telling a reform is an external thing, physical thing, is a change in the external nature. But she is telling change in the mind, change in the consciousness, changes psychologically. Then only you may give more protection. So when you have a divisions in the society, when there is no love or a friendship or a goodness in the society, you won't find any reforms and you won't find anything. When there is a love, everything will come. So he is telling, you should maintain intelligence. He is also telling right type of education using. So in the world, human beings have to control population. Human beings have to take more care for giving right education for every child. So if you create more children without any resources, without any income, the children who are born in the society, they may get so many problems. That's why create good environment. Then you create a children, then they may be comfortable. That's why for creation of population, for education, for everything, human beings are responsible. Take more intelligence, then you have to change your life, then you will find change in the society. Amresh sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Generally, women's or men's. Which person is selfishness, more selfishness, and now tell me, sir, naturally, women
So
or men,
here,
which person is
the
more
selfishness
selfishness
is
and
not relating with anybody is it depends upon various things. So the selfishness, it has two aspects. One, the meaning of selfishness is knowing about your soul. Another meaning of selfishness is getting possessions for their life. That's why here we need many material, many things for our biological survival. That is also essential thing. But here she is telling right type of education if we have, then we may solve all these type of problems. Amaresh sir, you ask some people.
Hema madam?
Amaresh sir.
Yes sir, yes sir. Deepalata Gupta madam ji? Binita Boyan madam? I think Vidyasagar's. Anyone else? Sir, I have one small. Actually, we think that those who have maybe a seniors, based on their experience, they there may be a chance to get more experience and wisdom. But she has the age of 38. The way she, my God, influenced the whole globe is wonderful, sir. What are the reasons behind this type of innovative thoughts and creative?
So here you see the life of Swami Vivekananda. Some people lived 34 years, 36 years, 38 years. So she is a very sensitive. She has a good consciousness. She observed the society and she has given her ideas in the writing form as a philosopher. She got this type of sensitive ideas on the observation of kingdom, the rulers, the domination, the treatment. She is telling the king is a king, the woman is a woman. The king has to do his own duties. The woman has to perform her own duties. So the woman is not inferior to king. She is not inferior to anybody. So king has a king's role and woman has a woman's role. That's why here she observed all evil affairs and negative things in the human society. And she said there is a inequality on the basis of evil minds, dominating outlook in the name of the tradition of obedience. She is telling obedience, that is a one conception. The woman has to be obedient, the man has to be obedient. So he should be servant, she should be servant. So that type of thing we don't need. We need more freedom, more flexibility. She observed this society on the basis of various events in the society. She got this type of enlightenment, Amreshwar.
Thank you, sir. Really wonderful, sir.
Welcome.
Anyone else?
Pawan Kumar.
Pawan, sir, if you have any other query, please. Final.
Sir, yes, sir. Okay, sir. But our Indian women, sir, that our Indian women, no maturity, sir. No totally maturity.
No.
Some people are personally more selfishness, more partiality.
So,
These are things are suffering for our
Pawan
India,
Kumar.
sir. Mostly. How can they remove, sir, these contents, these bad evils?
Actually, this is a statement by Pawan Kumar, but actually, we have a very good woman, very lovely woman, very tender woman, a woman of great charity, a woman of great justice, a woman of great dignity. Wonderful women are there in India. You have to go various types of people. You have to approach, then you will see the divinity of the woman. So I have experience with all types of people, very, very beautiful people, very lovely people, very good people, very happy people, very intelligent people, very humanistic people. A woman with for welfare of humanity, all types of people. So here, women of India, very rarely some people, those who are immature, evil, with on the basis of the woman-man reaction. Some people, that type of people are there in the men, and that type of people are there women. Here we have a great men, great women, great men who sacrificed their life, those who have contributed a lot. Here we have a woman who are very lovely, very great, very tender. To travel, you have to move various sides. At the same time, your heart should be clean. Only one, you should also in this connection, we have to remember one important saying given by Rabindranath Tagore. That saying is, love gives beauty to gives everything it touches. Love gives beauty to everything it touches. If love focuses on a stone, the stone will become beauty. If love focuses her shadow on a man become beauty. So if man focuses his love on women become very beautiful. So here, beauty, goodness, love, happiness, all are concerned with a lovely feeling. When you have a clean heart, when you have a lovely feeling, so why people are going to temples? So they are focusing their vision with a lovely feeling. So they are focusing love on the statue of the God. That's why the statue becomes very beautiful. So sometimes we find a black stone god, white stone god, different type of. But for a devotees, every stone of God, or any shape of God, or a stone god, or a wooden god, or a plastic god, or any type of god, a picture. If you focus lovely feeling, that object will become. That's why. First of all, you have to create love in your heart. Then you will find the same love and good feeling in the external world. That's why, so in India, in the world, many great people are there. Throughout the world, great women are there, great good people are there in the women. So if you go very deeply, we will find men are there, women are there. So equal level good people are there in the men and women. So that's why you have to travel various types of countries, various types of states, various types. But the condition is your heart should be very clean. If you go with the different countries and different places with impure manner, you won't find beauty in the woman. You won't find goodness in the man. If you have a purity in your heart, you will find great feelings in the man and woman. So the origin is a purification of your mind and heart. If you have a love and goodness in your heart, then you will find goodness and love in the external world. That's why if you have a clean mirror within you, then you can see very clearly in the external world. If you have an impure mirror within you, then you won't find any purity in the external world. That's why, you have to experience a pure love of Pawan Kumar. So if you experience a pure love without expectation, with a divine feeling, if you experience love with a tree or a mountain or a god or a woman or a man or anything, if you experience a lovely heart, then you will see the greatness of love. So first of all, we have to experience love, then we have to show love for all. If you focus love on all people, you may talk politely, you may help something, you may do good thing. So the love will translate, the love will transform different moods in the positive sense. It may give the protection of human rights, it may protect world peace, it may give employment, it may give money, it may give everything. So it may translate or it may transform different form. That's why first you have to transform your mind. First, you have to create love in your heart. Then you have to see in the external world. Then in the India, in the other world, you will find very beautiful women and men. Yes, sir. What do you say, Amresh, sir?
Extraordinary. True, sir. If you have goodness, purity in your mind and heart only, then only you can see good outside, sir.
So here, Wollstonecraft is an integrated person. She is not a one-sided person. She is not fought only for women. She fought for men also. So she is a different type of woman philosopher. So she is not a separatist. She is said, so women and men, we have to go very deeply. If you go very deeply, we will find this integrated outlook in the Wollstonecraft. Sometimes she may mention women and men, inequalities, but she is an integrated person, Amresh sir.
Extra. So with your permission, may I go for presentation?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please move, Amresh sir.
Good evening to Professor Chennai sir and noble participants. Great life lessons from the Mary, a British philosopher, writer, and equality fighter, Mary Wollstonecraft. The outline of the presentation, introduction, learning outcome, and conclusion. Before going to our actual topic, I would like to show, as usual, 3 motivational videos for our personal and professional development. So problems in life. While reading some articles also today, I came, there is no single person, human being without any problem. Everyone of their own level, maybe a intensity level of problem may be different. For Prime Minister, Chief Minister, President, Governor, Vice Chancellor, Professor, everyone have their own problems. So problems in life, 100 camels and a monk story.
Once upon a time, in a village, lived a man with his disciple has come to his town. Man decided to go to Zen master. In evening, he went to his place, and after waiting for a while, he got to meet Zen master. He said, "O wise one, I am very unhappy with my life. I am surrounded by problems all the time. Sometimes work problem and sometimes health problem. Sometimes problems at home and sometimes some other kind of problems. Please tell me a way so that my all problems should end and I can live a peaceful and happy life." Zen master smiled and said, "My dear friend, I will give you a solution tomorrow morning. But meanwhile, can you do me a small favor?" Man agreed. Zen master continued, "A rich merchant of this town has gifted me 100 camels. I am taking them with myself. I want that tonight you take care of them. When all 100 camels sit down, then you too go to sleep." Saying this, Zen master went to his tent and man went to look after camels for night. Next morning, Zen master went to man and asked, "Dear, did you have good sleep last night?" Man became sad and replied, "Sir, I could not even sleep for a moment. I tried a lot, but I could not get all camels to sit together at a time. Some camels sat down, but some did not sit despite my efforts. If one sits, some else will stand from some other side." And this went on all the night. There has not been a time overnight when all the camels would sit down. Zen master smiled and said, "If I am not wrong, this is what happened last night. There were many camels who sat themselves at night. Many others sat because of your efforts. Others did not even sit after trying to make them sit. And then later you found that some of them sat themselves with passage of time." Man replied, "Yes, that's exactly what happened." Zen master continued, "Now, do you understand something? You see, problems in our life are just like that. Some will solve themselves Some will be solved with your efforts. Some will not be solved even with efforts. Leave these kinds of problems on time. They will solve at right time by themselves. Last night you experienced that no matter how much you try, but you can't get all camels to sit at same time. If you make one camel sit, the another will be standing somewhere else. In the same way, if you solve a problem, then you will see some other problem standing there. It is life. Problems are part of life. Sometimes it is less, and sometimes there are too many problems. Problems are part of life, but it does not mean that you keep thinking about them all the time. You keep them aside and keep moving forward. Learn to grow towards the purpose of your life. If we see in our life, we will see that this is the story of all of us. We all think that when everything will be okay in my life, then I will be happy. But there never comes a time when everything will be fine in life. There will always be some problems in life. It can be related to your health. If health is okay, then it can be related to your job or business. If job or business is okay, then there can be problem in home. If all these are fine, then there can be some other kind of problem. If you will wait for everything to be okay in your life, then you will never be able to live a happy life. Like that man who could not sleep the whole night. Always remember that some problems will solve themselves, some will be solved with your efforts, and some will not be solved even with efforts. You will have to leave these problems. They will solve at right time by themselves. Therefore, try to learn to be happy while living among these problems. You must have some purpose in life, and you should always try to grow towards the purpose of your life. This is Words of Wisdom, inspirational stories.
I showed this
Thanks
video
for watching
earlier also.
and
This is
keep
the second
smiling.
time I'm showing how to listen your inner voice. So this is very, very important.
Once upon a time, there was an old monastery on the outskirts of a town. Many young boys who wanted to study Buddhism would come to live in the monastery and learn from the Zen master. One day, master decided to test his students. So, he gathered all young boys around him and said, "My dear students, as you can see, I am growing old now. That's why now I am not able to raise enough money for the expenses of the monastery. I have never taught you to work for money, but we need money to keep running the school. And to keep running the school, we need to raise funds." Students drew close to the master with their eyes wide open. Master continued, "As you all know, our nearby city is full of wealthy people. I want all of you to go into city and follow those rich people as they walk through crowded streets. And when no one is looking, absolutely no one is looking, you must steal from them. If you all can do this, then we will have enough money to keep our school alive." All the disciples were stunned after listening to this from their master. They all said in one voice, "But master, you have taught us that it is wrong to steal from anyone." Master replied, "Yes, indeed I have. It would be wrong to steal if it was not absolutely necessary. And remember, you must not be seen by anyone while stealing. If anyone, just anyone can see you, you must not steal." "Do you understand?" said master. "Yes, master," students replied. But they were nervously looking at each other. They were thinking, what has happened to their master? Why he is telling them to steal from people, but no one could say anything. Then the master said, "Now go, and remember, you must not be seen while stealing." Slowly and slowly, young boys started to get up and quietly began to go out of the monastery. Master also got up and watched them go. When master turned back, he saw one student still standing quietly in corner of a room. "Why did you not go with others? Don't you want to save our school?" asked the master. "I do, master," disciple replied calmly. "But you said that we had to steal without being seen, and there is no place on earth, no work in the world that can be done without seeing. If no one can see me, then at least I would always see myself. Then how can I steal when I am seeing myself?" said disciple. "Excellent," exclaimed master. "This is the lesson that I hoped everyone to learn. But you were the only one who could see it." Then master asked him to go and ask everyone else to return to monastery. Student ran out and found his friends who were nervously gathered just at some distance from the monastery and trying to decide what to do. When they returned, master explained them everything, and all of them understood the lesson. If we see in our lives, we will find that sometimes in our life we do something wrong thinking that no one is watching us. But we forget that no matter what we do, we always have a part of ourselves that is quietly watching our every action and every deed. And that part of ourselves is our inner consciousness. Our inner consciousness is always watching us. It always knows what is right and what is wrong. And if we listen carefully to it, then it can guide us to the right path. When you do something wrong, even by hiding somewhere, still your inner consciousness sees you. And when you do something good, even then your inner consciousness sees you. Your inner consciousness always witnesses your every deed and every karma. Many times in our life, we are caught in a dilemma and do not understand what to do. In such a situation, if you listen carefully to your inner conscience, then you will come to know what you should do. When we do any action or any deed, our inner conscience tells us in advance whether it is right or wrong. And if we listen carefully to it and do as per our inner conscience, then we can never do anything wrong. Sometimes you might have experienced that you know that something is wrong, but you still do it and feel regret afterward. And sometimes you know that something is good, and when you do it, you feel happiness afterward. Our inner conscience tells us in advance whether what we are going to do is good or bad. If you start ignoring your conscience, then slowly and slowly, your inner conscience will stop inspiring you about what is right and what is wrong. In fact, if you just listen to your conscience and follow it, then you don't need any external master to guide you path. If we see in the life of Gautam Buddha, we will see that Buddha also attained enlightenment without help of any master. Buddha only continued to practice according to his conscience and kept walking on the path of spirituality. And in the end, he attained enlightenment. Similarly, if you just learn to listen to your inner conscience and start following that, then you will also be able to live a true, virtuous, and happy life.
Very nice motivational video. 99% of your problems solved. Just one day motivation monk story.
Once upon a time, there was a very famous and enlightened Buddhist monk who lived in a very inaccessible and high mountain. It was very difficult to climb that mountain, so very few people used to visit him throughout the year. Only that person would go to meet him who was either very much interested in meeting him, or he had a big problem for which he would have to ask for a solution. Otherwise, most people would have met him only when he came down from the mountain. One day, a group of climbers went for a walk in that mountain. There, someone told them about the Buddhist monk and his intelligence. After knowing about the wisdom of the Buddhist monk, the group of climbers decided to meet him. They climbed further upwards and reached the monk's hermitage. The Buddhist monk saw them, greeted them with all respect, and asked them to sit. After sitting for some time, those people thought of putting their problem in front of the Buddhist monk, but they started arguing about who will tell their problem first. Everyone was saying that my problem is the biggest. That's why first I will ask the solution of my problem. Gradually, the voice of their argument started getting louder, and there was a loud noise everywhere. Seeing this, the Buddhist monk shouted, "You all calm down, I have a solution to this problem." Having said this, the Buddhist monk got up from there and went inside his hut, and after a while, brought paper, pen, and a bowl in his hand. The Buddhist monk said, "You all sit down in a circle, and take a paper pen and write your biggest problem in it, fold that piece of paper, and put it inside this bowl." Everyone did the same. They sat down in a circular circle and wrote their own problem in the paper and put it in the bowl. After this, the Buddhist monk picked up that bowl and stirred it well and mixed the paper slips well. Then very calmly, while giving that bowl to the first person sitting nearby, he said, "Keep moving this bowl one by one, and each person will pick up the same piece of paper that will be at the top. Then read the problem written on that paper and think if you should have the same problem in your life as you are studying now, or your own problem was fine." One by one, everyone picked up the paper from the bowl and read about each other's problems. When everyone came to know about the problems of others, they got scared. And in the end, everyone came to the conclusion that their problem is not as big as that of others. And in no time, they returned each other's papers with their problems, and eventually, everyone had their own problems paper. Now everyone was calm and in his mind considering himself more fortunate than others. The Buddhist monk's solution to the problem of the climbers was a simple but effective one. By forcing the climbers to read about each other's problems, he helped them to see that their own problems were not as big as they thought. This helped the climbers to be more grateful for what they had and to deal with their own problems in a more positive way. Climbers realized that focusing on their blessings instead of dwelling on their misfortunes could bring peace and gratitude into their lives. They all heartily thanked the Buddhist monk for opening their eyes and left from there. We often think that our problems are the biggest in the world, but when we see the problems of others, we realize that our problems are not so big after all. Remember, life is a mix of both happy and sad moments. When we embrace both, we can live with meaning and gratitude. Enjoyed the video? Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications.
Right. So it is the same in all of our learning outcome, learning great life lessons from a British philosopher, Mary Wollstonecraft. Already Professor Chennai sir rightly mentioned, born on 27th April 1759 London and passed away on 10th September 1797, the same London. English writer and passionate advocate of education and social equality for women. So education and social equality. So education and development are two sides of the same coin. That's why since time immemorial, always we are looking towards education for all.
Mary Wollstonecraft is most famous for writing A Vindication of the Rights of Women and being besties with Voltaire. She was born on April 27, 1759 in London to an abusive, drunk father and a submissive, cold mother. When her mother died in 1780, Mary left home and her abusive father behind and convinced her sister Eliza to leave her abusive husband and join her and her best adult friend Fanny Blood in living the independent life. They opened a school for girls which forwarded their mission of female empowerment and provided a modest income. They went on like this for 5 years, but then in 1785, Fanny got married, got pregnant, and died. And then the school closed from financial hardship. Mary was heartbroken. So to get away from it all, she moved to Ireland to work as a governess. But surprise, surprise, she hated domestic work. She decided that she must dedicate her life to authorship. So in 1787, she moved back to London, working as a translator and advisor for Joseph Johnson, a publisher of radical texts. From her experience as a teacher, Mary wrote Thoughts on the Education of Daughters. Shortly after, she published her most famous work, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, in 1792. The book pushed against many commonly held notions of femalehood. She basically argued that women who are kept at home weren't given enough to occupy their minds, and so they took it out on their children and their servants, becoming domestic tyrants. And that could all be changed if they were given the same educational opportunities as men, treated as rational beings, and given the chance to develop their own character. Aaron Burr liked it, writing, "Your sex has in her an able advocate, a work of genius." John Adams teased his wife Abigail for being a disciple of Wollstonecraft, and Horace Walpole, an English author who no one really cares about, called her a hyena in petticoats. After writing the book, she moved to Paris to write on the French Revolution, and in 1793, Mary met the handsome and charming American Captain Gilbert Imlay. And she fell for him, got pregnant shortly after with her first child, who she named Fanny after her dear friend. But things don't work out. He left her, and Mary reacted not well. She attempted to commit suicide twice. First with laudanum, which was like an opium morphine thing, and then by throwing herself into the Thames. And in the end, she realized she needed some space and convalesced with little Fanny on a trip to Scandinavia. When she returned, another man came into her life, the reserved and kind William Godwin. Mary got pregnant, and despite both of them not really believing in marriage, they got married anyway. And with Godwin, Mary didn't find it so bad. In fact, she said, "A husband is a convenient part of the furniture of a house, unless he be a clumsy fixture." On August 30th, 1797, Mary gave birth to a girl, who she also named Mary Godwin. But you probably know her better by her married name, Mary Shelley, author of the novel Frankenstein. Mary Wollstonecraft would die 10 days after giving birth. Her last words were that Godwin was the kindest, best man in the world.
Right. So this is simply what Mary Wollstonecraft life experiences, maybe her own life taught us so many things.
Hello, I am Mary Wollstonecraft, an 18th century philosopher. I'm so pleased to learn that you're interested in my life and ideas. I am certainly more than just my writings, but I imagine I am best known for arguing that women are fully rational creatures and must receive an education equal to men. Why? Because women should no longer be subjugated by men. And although most men I know will foolishly disagree, a robust intellectual education is necessary if women are ever to liberate themselves from the commonly held infantilizing notion, which is totally insulting, that female education today should only be concerned with making women attractive to future husbands. How revolting! Any woman who boasts of her weakness is inadequately trained for life. Women need a proper education in order to be equal partners in marriage and fulfill our domestic duties and better educate our children, thus strengthening both our families and society as a whole. My belief that women must live as intellectual and virtuous adults and not as children was largely rejected by the male leadership in my society. But women, most notably those in later generations, were inspired by my writing, and many will come to see me as one of the first feminists. But perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself. Please let me briefly tell you about my life before I highlight some of my philosophical thoughts. Then you can judge for yourself who is right, me or my critics. I was born in England as the second of 7 children born to a middle-class family with diminishing wealth and an unstable father. Unlike most girls in my situation, I was well educated at home. I studied the Bible, Shakespeare, and the ancient philosophers. As a young adult, I was a governess, ran a school for girls, and worked as a translator and reviewer for a philosophical journal, the Analytical Review, which was a highly unusual but very informative job for a woman in my day. My primary profession, however, was as a writer. In my career, I penned 2 children's books, a successful travel log, a novel about an independent young woman, and a history of the French Revolution. I lived in France for many years and experienced both the glorious overthrow of the corrupt monarchy and the dangerous reign of terror that soon followed. I am best known, however, as the author of A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, which I published in 1772 when I was 33 years old. The book was a sequel of sorts to my 1770 publication, A Vindication of the Rights of Man, where I defended democratic principles and basic human rights. I liked my independence and lived an unconventional life for my time. I had several lovers and gave birth to 2 daughters. I imagine you probably know my youngest, Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein. Not content to play the role of a delicate greenhouse flower, the part expected of me by society, I accepted the pain of hunger and the ache of abandonment and faced danger and profound depression. But these experiences, as difficult as they were, taught me courage, temperance, and prudence, and made me who I am. In A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, I sharply criticized the ideas of the famous French philosopher Rousseau, who argued that the only point of female education is to make women pleasing to their husbands. I equally condemned the teachings of Dr. Gregory, a Scottish moralist who thought girls should be taught to love pretty dresses and dolls and to deny their natural strength in order to obtain their husband's affection. I absolutely reject those offensive notions and rebel against the expectation that, as a contemporary in America will one day sing in a hit Broadway show, a woman's only job is to marry rich. Instead, dear reader, notice my radical call for a change in our educational system. I argue that both boys and girls should be educated together, and that women must strengthen their minds and grow in virtue so they can properly face the challenges of life. Only then will women be emancipated from society's limiting expectations and participate as full contributing adults. As you read my book, note well my criticism of the current practice that expects women to act like children who are dependent upon their husbands. Such will not do, for society needs liberated women engaged in all parts of society. I hope my critics notice that I am not calling for women to be more like men, unless by being more masculine they mean being more dependent upon reason and human virtue and less reliant upon emotion and sentiment alone. I am willing to admit that men have greater physical strength, and I accept that both sexes have determined roles to play in society. I imagine that some later feminist philosophers might criticize me for not advocating for a greater revolution in gender roles. But I am content with letting men and women play these roles if women are no longer denied their rights to a proper education. But I do dream that society will one day radically change. Although I understand that my contemporary readers may find it laughable, I do think that women will ultimately cast off their bonds of intellectual slavery and take their right to vote. And why not? I understand that many of my critics might misunderstand the powerful but modest proposal I make in Vindication. I feel it necessary to repeat that I don't want women to act just like men. Instead, I expect that one day society will allow women to be the real human beings they are and have equal standing in society. And then these liberated women will successfully head our businesses and universities and will lead at all levels of government as fully developed, intelligent human beings. But my male contemporaries, by and large, did not take up my challenge. Instead of changing society, they preferred to criticize my life choices so they could conveniently ignore my arguments. My loving husband, some say rather foolishly, brought attention to my personal life when he praised my courage and spirit following my death in childbirth. In his memoir about our life together, he brought to light intimate details of my previous love affairs and 2 suicide attempts, ruining my reputation in the process. Tragically, these critics took my life as evidence that the education of women makes women morally deficient and unfit mothers. But in the decades that followed my death, many women, including other feminist writers and leaders in the suffragist movement in America and Europe, were inspired by my life and writing and came to see me as a leader who was ahead of her times. I'm curious what you think of my vindication. Do you agree that society will be better served if women are educated as men are today? Will you stand with me and claim girls must be allowed to develop their intellect and personal virtue and do more with their lives than simply aspire to acquire a husband? And I'm curious, which lines from my text do you agree with? Which do you think are absolutely wrong? And do you think all human society will one day adopt my philosophy? If so, what do you think convinced my critics they were wrong? If not, what's holding back such a reasonable request? So, thank you for reading my book. Keep challenging yourself and keep fighting for your fundamental right.
Right. So already Professor Chennai sir mentioned so many life lessons from Mary. I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves. Very Wollstonecraft. This is right. But unfortunately, maximum philosophers, writers, and educationalists, social reformers concentrated only one set of people. That is not right. So balance, sir rightly pointed out Albert Einstein balance theory. So in our real life also, we need both men and women are equal in life. Simplicity and sincerity generally go hand in hand, as both proceed from a love of truths. What a wonderful simplicity and seniority. Sincerity. So no man chooses evil because it is evil. He only mistakes it for happiness, the good he seeks. This is common. Actually, the teenagers, adults, or sometime in middle age, or even senior citizens also. Always, everyone is a fond of pleasure. So even though while doing a wrong way also, they will, especially drug addicts, alcohol, so many other types of people may be addicted knowingly or unknowingly because of pleasure, they move in wrong direction. But it is not good. Always going in a right way, right path is good. Strengthen the female mind by enlarging it, and there will be an end to blind obedience. This is true. Sometimes maybe obey the order. Especially, I have my nephew is working on the Pradesh police. Sometimes he has different views. He says, still we have the police system just like British police system, obey the order, obey the order, like I am not in a position to do my job. He expressed. So this is really, even though we got independence 75 years back, already we celebrated 77th independence this month on 15th August. but still, maximum things, even what happened on 15th August in Telangana, Hyderabad. So there are so many incidents, but still we are trying for equality and the rights of women, men and women, and child rights. My dreams were all my own. I accounted for them to nobody. They were my refuge when annoyed, my dearest pleasure when free. So Swami Vivekananda, APJ Abdul Kalam, also the same type of thoughts they have. The more equality there is established among men, the more virtue and happiness will in society. Friendship, Professor Chennai sir mentioned, friendship is a serious affection, the most sublime of all affections, because it is founded on principle and cemented by time. So what a wonderful, just like a house construction, the purpose of in the same way, the relationship also, friendship is a belief, care, concern, love, affection, trust, truthfulness. All these are the values. Only that education deserves empathetically to be termed cultivation of mind, which teaches young people how to begin to think. So know thyself, know yourself. The pastor's principle of the philosophy, you know yourself. What are your strengths? What are your limitations? So the Mary also Wollstonecraft, she said, I have so many lovers, and she married twice, made suicide attempt. Her own life story she learned. So education is very, very important for women empowerment. Surely something resides in this heart that is not perishable, and life is more than a dream. So heart is the role, but unfortunately, now maximum the administrators, they are working through mind only, not integration of mind and heart. That's why maximum things. Whenever someone want to follow rule, there is a no role of a heart, only mind, mind, mind. The beginning is always today. The same thing, great philosopher Tulasi, even Kabir, Tulasi, Rahim, even our Telugu literature also. Kal kare se aaj kare se palme paralai hoegi behori kare nakal. So tomorrow's work, today's work now. The same thing, the beginning is always today. At maximum time procrastination, we are postponing again and again to write some article, to do some things. So it is not right way. So better make it a plan, Eisenhower prioritization matrix, important, urgent, not important, not urgent, important, not urgent, not important, urgent, 4 quadrant. It is very, very important. And Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break.
I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves. The beginning is always today. No man chooses evil because it is evil, he only mistakes it for happiness, the good he seeks. Taught from infancy that beauty is woman's scepter, the mind shapes itself to the body, and roaming round its gilt cage, only seeks to adorn its prison. Women are told from their infancy, and taught by the example of their mothers, that a little knowledge of human weakness, justly termed cunning, softness of temper, outward obedience, and a scrupulous attention to a puerile kind of propriety, will obtain for them the protection of man. A well-informed mind is the best security against the contagion of folly and of vice. It is justice, not charity, that is wanting in the world. The more I see of the world, the more I am dissatisfied with it, and every day confirms my belief of the inconsistency of all human characters, and of the little dependence that can be placed on the appearance of either merit or sense. The being cannot be termed rational or virtuous, who obeys any authority, but that of reason. The divine right of husbands, like the divine right of kings, may, it is hoped, in this enlightened age, be contested without danger. I love man as my fellow, but his scepter, real or usurped, extends not to me, unless the reason of an individual demands my homage, and even then the submission is to reason and not to man. Independence I have long considered as the grand blessing of life, the basis of every virtue, and independence I will ever secure by contracting my wants, though I were to live on a barren heath. The mind that is not debased by servitude must be elevated by freedom. The first and grandest of all laws is the wisdom that regulates the conduct of men in their respective places and stations. The wise man must remember that while he is a descendant of the past, he is a parent of the future. The power of acquiring knowledge is the only vengeance men can take upon their enemies. The most virtuous women have something within them, something that is never chaste. My own sex, I hope, will excuse me, if I treat them like rational creatures, instead of flattering their fascinating graces, and viewing them as if they were in a state of perpetual childhood, unable to stand alone. The mind is strengthened by labor, and the character formed by the struggle with difficulties. Women ought to have representatives, instead of being arbitrarily governed without any direct share allowed them in the deliberations of government. The only way to behave to a woman is to make love to her, if she is pretty, and to someone else, if she is plain. It is time to effect a revolution in female manners, time to restore to them their lost dignity. It is time to separate unchangeable morals from local manners. Women are systematically degraded by receiving the trivial attentions which men think it manly to pay to the sex, when, in fact, men are insultingly supporting their own superiority. Women have seldom sufficient employment to silence their feelings, a round of little cares, or vain pursuits frittering away all strength of mind and organs, they become naturally only objects of sense. The most perfect education, in my opinion, is such an exercise of the understanding as is best calculated to strengthen the body and form the heart. I cannot but lament bitterly that women are seldom, if ever, to blame for their own misconduct.
Right. When we feel deeply, we reason profoundly. So, feel deeply, so through heart. It is justice, not charity, that is wanting in the world. Maybe sometimes it may change from time to time certain things, but based on that, during French Revolution, even she traveled to France. Let women share the rights, and she will emulate the virtues of man, for she must grow more perfect and emancipated. So that's why Professor Chennai sir mentioned she fought not only for women, for even equally. So her approach is different. Better to take care of both men and women. It is aimed to expect virtue from women till they are in some degree independent of men. So in Telugu literature also I read so many things. Purushadikya Samaj, they are even Hindi also. So male-dominated society. But slowly, the land I'm sitting, East Coast Hill District, Meghalaya, a matrilineal society, mother clans, so names also they take. There are n number of good things from society to society. It is not a and living together concept in Rajasthan and Gujarat, some tribe more than hundreds of years back they started. There are some innovative things. What you can only flourish among equals. Even the philosophers also, they have the same. Whenever we are going to make even a friendship also, we need this type of among equals. But at the same time, based on culture, while making maybe a marriage, a relationship, they always think higher. Make them free, and they will quickly become wise and virtuous as men become more so. So make them free. So give at least freedom to think, freedom to do. Still, some of families, they are not in a position to give freedom to women to do what she likes. So this type of things is not good. So they are not robots. It is better we can suggest them take care, at the same time do what they like. It is time to effect a revolution in female manners. time to restore to them their lost dignity. It is time to separate unchangeable morals from local manners. So just while reading Mary Wollstonecraft, I was recalling about Sushma Swaraj, Indira Gandhi, Jayalalitha, Mayawati, n number of female politicians, leaders in India. So through education, they become what they. Women have seldom sufficient employment to silence their feelings. Men and women must be educated in a great degree by the opinions and manners of the society they live in. So men and women must be educated, not only women. Even that's why she is telling about criticizing Rousseau. I never wanted but your heart that gone. You have nothing more to give. So it means what is important. Even education also we can see through heart integration, heart to mind. Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful. What can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man? So determination, that's why goal. Yesterday I showed one video also, the how so a boy without any ambition, what is ambition is not. So he has different types of view. I cherished hope, it is true, but it vanished when my person reflected. These are all her own life story reflections. Learn from my miseries and do not seek to increase your own. Sometimes in education, we are always learning negative education. So maybe after knowing the problems of others, maybe we can try how to resolve. That's why sometimes the frequently asked question and answers, it may help to do things nicely. Everywhere I see bliss, from which I alone am irrevocably excluded. My dreams were at once more fantastic and agreeable than my writings. So dream, 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 but heart is above the dream. So it is better a feeling, affection, care, concern. Elegance is inferior to virtue. So sometimes the being you seek for knowledge and wisdom as I once did, and I ardently hope that the gratification of your wishes may not be a serpent to sting you as mine has been. Actually, the gratitude, according to mind, positive mind, and well-being, gratitude is the first principle, not only for yourself, for others. So, what else? So if you are getting, if you get or are getting some help from others, always better to show. So your self-love, self-care, self-interest, self-motivation, self-education, everything self is very important. These are all myself, Dr. Srutasni Gogoi Madam models, and there are n number of things we can learn from Mary Wollstonecraft, writer, philosopher. Now over to Professor Chinnai sir before going to vote of thanks and national anthem.
So congratulations, Amresh sir, for your nice presentation, good words, good organization, everything good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. But after going through her lessons, she has a personal experience, sir, for women empowerment. Maybe I can allow for 5 minutes participants. If you have Sujata Madam, Sanjeev Kumar Gupta, sir, Hema Madam, Subramaniam, sir, from Political Science Department, SVU. So, sir is the right person for men and women rights, equality, human rights. Professor Dr. Subramaniam, sir. Muhammad Safir. How are you now?
Fine, sir, no problem. Just have some control.
Okay. So thank you very much. Now it gives me immense pleasure to express my gratitude. I am just we are one step ahead to reach our goal. Earlier we decided a series of 100 programs. Maybe next Saturday we are going to reach our goal. But Professor Chennai sir suggested to move further based on without the support of Professor Chennai sir, this long journey may be not possible for us. Thank you, sir, for your continuous support and encouragement. Whenever we are demotivated, you are always motivated and showed a right path. Thank you very much, sir.
So all the best, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. So it is my pleasure, my duty to express my gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Prabhasankar Cisco sir, and former director, former registrar, Professor A. Dixit sir, person behind all the programs, series of programs. Sir given immediately permission to organize the programs. Without their help, it is not possible. Thank you very much. Professor Mitalika ma'am, Dr. Srutusini Gugoi madam, excellent collaborator. So behind the screen, on the screen, and off the screen, really wonderful support. Thank you very much. And Professor Mipun sir, ISTD chairman, Shillong chapter, for his continuous support and motivation. And Pawan sir, always your presence is very, very good and enlighten the various thoughts. Maybe sometimes you have your own observation at the same time. Professor Chennai sir always correcting us. So sometimes our own opinion, we cannot generalize the opinion of whole India or globe. What Professor Chennai sir rightly mentioned, it is better to move around the globe with a pure heart and mind, then only we can see good things. Thank you very much for your active interaction with Professor Chennai sir, noble participants. See you again Wednesday on 23rd August and 20th Doctoral Research International Conference, 5 to 7 p.m. and Friday, Saturday as usual. Thank you very much. Now National Anthem, immediately I can share the feedback form to get your certificate.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind. Thank you. Please submit your feedback form. YouTube viewers also.